Hi guys, it's me again, Trish Juliano. Welcome back to my channel. And now we're down to the lesson 5 on our complete AutoCAD training course for 2D and 3D. And for today's lesson, I am going to demonstrate to you the data entry methods using absolute coordinates X and Y. So these are the three main data entry methods. So we have picking direct distance and the absolute entry using absolute coordinates X and Y. So we already discussed this picking and direct distance from our lesson 1. And for our absolute coordinates X and Y, our reference point is the origin, that is the 0, 0 from our UCS icon. So I will demonstrate first the absolute coordinate method and then picking and direct distance. So let's begin. It is called absolute coordinate X and Y because we will draw the figure using the absolute coordinate of its endpoints. So for example, we have this figure composed of 5 points. So it is called absolute coordinate again because we will enter the exact X and Y coordinate. For our point 1, the coordinate of our point 1 is 1, 1. So this is our point 1. Let's try it in CAD. So we will enter first the line command. So L, enter. And to specify our first point, we will just input 1, 1. So if we zoom it in, so it is where the first point locates, and then our point number 2. So let's see, what is our point number 2? So point 2 is 4, 1. Because this is absolute coordinate, we will put hashtag before our coordinates, so to make it absolute. Hashtag 4, 1. So that's it. Our third point is so from P2 to P3, that is 5, 2. So, hashtag 5, 2, enter. So we can see from this figure that that is our last point, the point 3. And then our point 4 is, so from point 3 to point 4, our coordinate is 5, 4. Don't forget the hashtag. Hashtag 5, 4. Enter. And then next. So going to point 4, going to point 5, the coordinate is 1, 4. 1, 4. So don't forget the hashtag 1, 4. And then, so we have two options here. The first option is to put the coordinates of the last point, or we can type C to close the figure. So we can try the first option. I'm given the coordinate. Coordinate is 1, 1. Hmm. So hashtag 1, 1. Okay, so our figure is closed. And we can also try the second option. We will just type C to close the figure. So C, enter. And now the figure is already closed. Okay. So we can also draw the same figure using picking. So by picking, we are just estimating the location of the points. So let's try it. No? Using picking. L, enter. By using picking, it is just estimation. No? So you see, this is the figure drawn using picking. And we can also draw the same figure using direct distance. Turning the ortho on by clicking this icon or just pressing F8. So, uh, line command again. And okay, let's turn it off first so we can draw the angled line, and we can turn it on again. So in this figure, we have direct distance. We use direct distance to draw this figure, and we have picking, and this is the drawing that we have made using the absolute coordinate method. So based from our three drawings, they look so different from each other because these two, they are only the estimation method, pancha method. Okay, so figure drawn by picking is not in straight line, and doing direct distance, the angle is not accurate as the original figure. Okay, so let's try an exercise. Okay, we have exercise number 1, figure 1. It looks like letter H. Looks like letter H. Okay, so let's assume that our first point is in 1, comma 1. Our first point, the A, point A, we will put this in 1, comma 10 or 1, comma 10. So let's write in ka. Line 1, comma 10. Okay, so this is where our point A, and then I will turn the ortho mode off. Okay. So from our figure, so our point B locates at the right side of A. So it means from A to B, our coordinate will be, our x is 1 and y is 0 since there's no movement in y coordinate. So what's it again? 1, comma 0. And don't forget the hashtag. Hashtag 1, comma 0. Okay, what happened? I put the wrong input because our first point is 1 comma 10. Okay, let's undo it. So if it is 1 comma 10, our figure, our next point moved to the right side by 1 point, so making our x-coordinate as 2. And since there's no movement in y, our y-coordinate will remain 10. No? Okay, so hashtag 2 comma 10. Enter. Okay. Okay, let's go to point C. Point C is we're going 1 unit upward. So, and there's no movement in x coordinate. So, making our point C to be 2 comma 11. So, don't forget the hashtag. Oh my gosh. I input the wrong. So let's just undo it. Hashtag 2 comma 11. Okay. So now we are in the point D. So going to point D, our x-coordinate is 1. So we moved 1 to the right. And our y is 0 since it didn't move at all, the y coordinate. So now our point, the coordinate of our point D is hashtag 3 comma 11. Okay, so let's go back to the figure. Going to point E. So our point E, we have the same x-coordinate, only the y-coordinate moved downward by 1 unit, making the coordinate of point E to be 3, 10. So, hashtag 3 comma 10, enter. Okay, let's go to point F. So, going to point F, we have y-coordinate is the same, but the coordinate x-coordinate moved to the right by 1 unit. So that means the coordinate of our point F is 4 comma 10. For hashtag, don't forget, comma 10, enter. Undo. Hashtag 4, comma 10. Okay. Let's go back to our figure. Okay, from F, we're going to G. From F, we are going to G. So we have x-coordinate is the same, but y-coordinate moved upward by 3 units. So 1, 2, 3, making our coordinate of point G to be, so the same, 4 and 13. 4 comma 13. So don't forget the hashtag 4 comma 13. Okay. So we are now in the H, point H. So the x-coordinate moved to the left by 1 unit while y-coordinate remains the same. So the coordinate of our point H is the same. We have 3, move to the left since we are in 4, then move to the left, so minus 1, 3, and then 13. Our y coordinate is the same, 13. So we will put hashtag 3, 13. So that is our point H. So going to point I, x coordinate remains the same, so that is still 3. But our y coordinate moved 1 unit downwards, so that is 13 minus 1 equals to 12. So that our coordinate is hashtag 3, 12. Okay. And now going to J. Going to J, our x coordinate moved by 1 unit to the left, so that is 3 minus 1, making our x coordinate to be y. I mean 2, but our y remains the same, so we'll just use 12. So hashtag 2, 12. Okay, and then going to point K, x remains the same, so making our x coordinate to be 2 and our y coordinate moves 1 unit upward, so making our y coordinate to be 12 plus 1, that is 13. So hashtag 2, 13. Okay, going back to our figure. So now we are to the L coordinate, or point L. So our x moved 1 unit to the left, making our point 2 minus 1, so equals 1. Our x coordinate is 1 and our y remains the same, so that is 13. So don't forget the hashtag 1, 13. Enter. So we can type C to close the figure. Okay. So to find out the coordinates of this line, we can select all of these lines and then we can type LI for list to show the properties of this line. So we will see. So from a certain point, so we have 1, 13, and 0. X is 0. So the length is 3. So these are the properties of our lines. So we have found 12 lines. So the first step in entering data using the absolute coordinate is to first pick the origin, because that is our reference point. So that is our lesson 5, and there are 2 other data entry methods that we'll be doing. So for the summary, the absolute coordinate technique is drawing figure at its absolute coordinate x and y. So meaning absolute coordinate, our reference point is the 0, 0 or the origin. Okay, so we still have here 2 figures. So for exercise number 2 and exercise number 3, we're still going to do it. Okay. So from our figure, point A, so this is our point A. So let's assume that our point A lies on coordinate 615. Now, just an assumption. 615. So, line command, just enter 6, comma 15. So, this is where our point A. And then, point B. So, point B, we can see here that it moved to the right. So, the X is, so that will be 7. But our Y coordinate remains the same. So, that means 7, comma 15. That is the coordinate of our point B. So, hashtag, don't forget the hashtag, comma 15. Okay. And then, let's go to point C. So, we are going up. Point C we are going up by 1 point. So, our X coordinate remains the same, that is 7. And our last Y coordinate, the Y coordinate of our B is 15. So, plus 1, making it 16. So, the coordinate now of point C is 7, comma 16. Don't forget the hashtag 7, comma 16. Okay. Next is point D. So we can see from the figure that the point B goes to the right 1 unit and downward by 1 unit. So making our coordinates to be, so going to the right, so ibig sabihin x plus 1, that will be 18 or 8. 7 plus 1, 8, and our y coordinate 16 minus, since we go down, minus 1 equals 15. So the coordinate now of our point D is 8, comma 15. Hashtag 8, comma 15. Oh. And then, next point is point E. Point E is going down by 1 unit. So, our x coordinate remains the same, that is 8. And our last coordinate is 15, so just minus 1 because we're going down, making it 14. So, the coordinate of our point E is 8, comma 14. So, hashtag, don't forget the hashtag 8, comma 14. Okay, and for the point F, we're going to the right by 2 units. And there's no y coordinate, no movement in y coordinate. So making our coordinate to be 14. So the coordinate now of our point F is 10, comma 14. Don't forget the hashtag 10, comma 14. Okay. And now we're going to point G. So point G. So you can see from the figure that we moved 2 units to the right and 2 units upward, no? So there are movements both in x and y coordinates. So making our point G to be, so our last coordinate is 10, 14. So it means 12. And our y coordinate will be 16. So our coordinate of G, point G, is 12, 16. So let's try hashtag 12, 16. Okay. And then going to point H. Going to point H, we just move 1.5, no? 1.5 units upward. So making our coordinate to be, x coordinate remains the same, that is 12, and the coordinate of the y coordinate of point G is 16, so plus 1.5, making it 17.5. So our point H is hashtag 12, 17.5. Okay. Let's undo. Let's try it again. Hashtag 12, 17.5. Okay. I just input the wrong number. Wrong number. Wrong number. Commercial first. Because my battery has down low. Yeah. Okay, let's go back. So where are we? We are in point I guess, no? So we moved 2 units to the left, and there's no movement in y coordinates. So making our uh, point P to have, point I to have, so the last is 12, so we move to the left, making our x coordinate to be 10, and 17.5 for our y coordinate. Okay, so let's try hashtag 10, 17.5. Okay, and now for letter J, we move 1 unit upward, and there's no movement in x coordinate. So that is, our x coordinate remains the same, 10, and our y coordinate is 18.5 since it moved 1 unit upward. So that is hashtag 10, 18.5. Boom. And now going to K. So that is our point K. We moved 1 unit to the left, so making our x coordinate to be 9, and our y coordinate remains the same, so that is 18.5. So let's try it in CAD. Hashtag 9, 18.5. Okay. And now from our figure, point, okay, where are we? Point L. So point L, we have moved 2 units to the left, so making our uh, x coordinate to be 9 minus 2, so making it 7, and then we moved 1 unit downward, so making our y coordinate to be 17.5. So our coordinate now of point L is 7 comma 17.5. Hashtag 7 comma 17.5. Okay, and now we are down to point M. So point M, we can see from the figure that it moved 1 unit to the left and there's no movement in y coordinates. So 7, so that is the last, is the x coordinate of our last point, 7. So just minus 1 because we moved to the left. So 7 minus 1 equals 6. Our y coordinate remains the same, so that is 17.5. So our coordinate of point L is, or point M is hashtag 6 comma 17.5. Okay, so there are two options again to input the coordinate of this point, or we just close it, no? So if we are going to use the coordinate of this point, let's go back. So we are moving 2.5 downward, no? 2.5 downward. Our x remains the same, so it means 6. And so we have 17.5 minus 2.5, making it 15, no? If I'm correct. So let's try it. Let's try to close the figure using the coordinates. So hashtag 6 comma 15. So there, we already closed the figure. Or we just type C to close it. So that is our figure. Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint to see if we have the same figure. So we have the same figure from our CAD. Okay, so we're done with 2 exercises. We're going to the third exercise, which is the figure 3. So in the figure 3, we will just use the same method, the absolute coordinate method. And we will enter the absolute coordinates of these points. So we have A to point G, and to close the figure from point G, we're going back to point A. So let's assume again, no, that our point A lies on 15 comma 20. So this is our figure 3. So from point A, we have, so assume 15 comma 20, that is the location of our first point. So let's try it. Line command, so L enter, hashtag, don't forget 15 comma 20. So that is the coordinate of our first point. Okay, going back to the figure. So going to be, we moved 2 units to the right and no movement in y coordinates, so making our point B to be, so from here we have 15, so plus 2 units, so we have 17, and 20 remains the same for y coordinate. So let's try. We have hashtag 17 comma 20. Wait, again, hashtag 17 comma 20. Okay, so going to point C, we move 3 units upward, so making it the x remains the same, so we will use 17 again, and from 20, y coordinate of B plus 3, so making the y coordinate of point C to be 23. Okay, let's try it. Hashtag, so 17 comma or 23. Okay, going to point B, so we moved 1 unit to the right and y coordinate remains the same. So from 17 plus 1, we have 18 for x and 23 for y because it remains the same. Let's try hashtag 18 comma 23. Okay, so that's our next point. And point E, so from point E, we move to the left by 2 units, so making our coordinate of E, x coordinate of E, so that is 18, we have 18 here from D, minus 2 units, so making it 16, but it goes upward, no, by 2 units. So from 23 of this point, D point, the y coordinate of D, 23 plus 2, so 25, making our coordinate of point E to be 16 comma 25. Hashtag 16 comma 25. Oh, and then from E going to F, so we move to the right, to the left by 2 units, and we go down with 2 units again, so making the F coordinates of our point F to be, so 16 minus 2, 14, that is the x coordinate, and the y coordinate is from 25 minus 2, so we have 23. No. Okay, so the coordinate now of our point F is 14 comma 23. So we have hashtag 14 comma 23. So for our last point G, second to the last point, that is G, so from F, we move to the right by 1 unit. The y coordinate remains the same. So making our coordinate of G to be, so 14 from here plus 1, making it 15. So y coordinate is 23. It remains the same. So making the coordinate of our point G to be 15.23. Okay, let's try it in CAD. Hashtag. So we have 15 comma 23. Uy. And so we can close the figure using C or the coordinate, no? So if we try the coordinate, we are just going down by 3 units. So, and our x remains the same. So making our point to be 15 comma 20. No? So hashtag 15 because our x coordinate didn't move, comma 20. So from 23, we go down to 20. So yeah, it goes the figure. Hmm. And that is the figure we have drawn from those coordinates using the absolute coordinates x and y. So let's see if it looks the same. So this, it does look the same from our drawing. So it means we have the right coordinates. No? Yeah, so now we are finished with our lesson 5 and see you on lesson 6. Thank you and goodbye.